engine is sitting out. We've pulled it out with the Toyota forklift here. And the drive line is typical Land Cruiser drive line. Could use a little 10 to 11 care, so to speak, but it's nice to see that the transmission transfer case are fairly dry. And for the most part, it's in fine shape, just a little surface rust to be expected when it spends the time that it does along the Cape and the sea air getting to it, but overall in decent shape. And now I'm walking over here to kind of give you a general idea of what we're doing here with the frame. Pulling out the axles, suspension, some of these things we're going to replace, and here's the non-existent cross member, as well as other rusting holes and things of that nature. That's exactly why we're doing that. More holes over here. Gaping hole. So we're removing everything off of this frame, and Maurice, who's doing the work here, actually said that the body mounts came off, you broke one bolt, right? And they all came off without a fight, which is pretty odd. I just noticed that even on this is a replacement cross member back here. Even has the tag on it from the factory, which is kind of interesting. You don't see that very often, so that must have been replaced at one point in time in its life. We're trying to retain the stock leaf springs, and I think that those were even replaced at one point in its life, because you can see some decals right there. So there are going to be things that we have to replace. The U-bolts, skid plates are no good. The shackles are going to be tough. And the leaf springs might even be called into question here, but try to retain those. But brackets, things of that nature. This is called a charcoal canister. It works as part of the emissions and the breathability for the fuel tank and whatnot. We'll be running brand new fuel lines and brake lines, because those are not going to transfer over. This right here is part of the power steering cooling line. We can reuse that, we think. But we're going to be using as much as we can. Power steering box. We'll be putting in new shocks. Again, we're going to try to reuse as much as we can, and things that are sort of more maintenance type issues we'll replace. It could use a front axle reseal. That's why this is all wet. You can see a lot of that grease right there is because the failure of the wiper seals. Front axle reseals are common here. It's a recommendation. It's not an absolute must, but while it's here, maybe it's something that can be done. So work continues as we strip down this frame and get a lot of parts that we're going to be using for the new frame when it gets here.